What's up, everyone? Welcome to another trade recap. Tuesday, 12th of August. Today was a bit of a funny day to trade. Obviously, we had Trump speaking. We had a couple of news at 1:30. We also had some news in the morning. There was two trades that stood out that you could have taken. The first one was in the morning. It was GBP, this one right here. Okay, I'm just going to proceed to delete everything so we can just go through it. So 4 hour time frame, obviously we were looking in the morning, we were still here. Okay, so we were still bearish. We didn't break above this high. Obviously now we're bullish because we've broken structure on the 4 hourly, but in the morning we were still bearish, so we were still looking to sell. So we were still looking for a CR high to be swept, tapping into a point of interest, and then we were looking to sell it coming back down. So obviously the bias has been already determined, drop back down into the 1 hour time frame, and we mark out 7 a.m. high, 7 a.m. low. Okay. And then looking at point of interests, we had a inverted FVG right here. Okay, we can mark that out as well. We had an inverted FVG right there. On the hourly, we also had a 30-minute order block. Okay. So those are our point of interest, and then obviously 15-minute high, 15-minute low that broke the range. Dropping that into the 1 minute time frame. Now with this one, there was a couple of losses that you could have avoided, which we did avoid. Okay, first loss would have been this one. Okay, again, like I've said before, I do one of these two things. If one of these two things doesn't happen, I do not take the trade. Now, these two things are this. I either need the hourly high or the 15-minute high to be swept, and then I can go ahead and take a trade. Or I don't need the 50-minute high to be swept, but I need a point of interest to be tapped into. In this scenario right here, none of those two happened, so I'm waiting. Okay. We then ended up sweeping the hourly, sweeping the 50-minute right here, but this right here wasn't showing me bearish momentum, so I just waited again. With CRT, the main thing is patience. Okay, you have to wait. You can't be scared of missing the winning trade. That's going to happen sometimes. We miss, that's fine. But you don't want to take this loss, because it's just going to hurt you in the long run. Okay, so you would have avoided taking this loss. You would have avoided taking this loss. Then coming over here, we had a nice trade, but no entry. Okay, we had this order block here. And as you can see, this move, I wanted it to come down to here and then to come back up, tapping into it and then dropping. But as you can see, we just ended up dropping all the way back down here. So this was the move that we were meant to be in. Okay, but since it didn't give an entry, same thing again, not being scared of missing the trade, we just waited to see what happened around this area. Okay, and as you can see, we halted for a little bit, but ultimately we ended up going higher. So that's a third loss avoided. Okay, that's a third loss avoided right here. Now, here is where you would have taken a loss. No way around it. Obviously, you're tapping the inverted 1 hour FVG. We had a order block right here. We also had a fair value gap, pretty much in line with it. And we also had a break of structure right here. So here was okay to take the trade. Absolutely normal to lose this. Not a problem. We're going to lose some trades along the way. It's absolutely fine. So here, not avoidable. You take these trades all day long. It ended up losing. Then we can see that we ended up tapping into the 30-minute order block. There was also a 15-minute order block, which I'll mark out here, which is basically the same area as the 30-minute. Okay, a 30-minute order block, 15-minute order block, all over there. Going back into the 1 minute time frame, we can see that once we hit that order block, we ended up going above it, but then ultimately we ended up rejecting it, coming back below it. Now, with this trade, we ended up having a bearish FVG. We ended up having an order block. Okay. And we also broke beneath this low right here. So this was our confirmation to enter. Okay, because we had a couple of three or four positive confirmations um going against literally no negatives really. There was no bad thing about this trade to look out for. It was only positives, so you would take this trade all along. You can see here this is a solid bearish candle breaking beneath this low. We had another bearish candle and then we had the entry. Your entry would have been right here. Now you had two options in this trade, all right? Your first option was to take a one-to-one, okay? Your first option was to take a one-to-one and make your money back from this trade. So then you go back to break even. But since you already know that these trades, A++ trades, they win a lot of the time, you could have held it for either a 1 to 5, or you could have held it for a 1 to 6. So you can end up making 5% because obviously you would have made 6% here, but obviously minusing this 1%, it would have been 5. So as you can see, you would have hit that 5, and then obviously you would have been break even from the moment you broke beneath here. So from this point down, risk-free trade, nothing to worry about. Okay. So that was what happened this morning, but this is a very good example of what patience and just waiting can really help you in the long run. There's no point in jumping into the trade when there's no need to. Here you've avoided taking three losses. Obviously, you couldn't avoid this one because it was pretty much a perfect setup. But then here you had another perfect setup. You got all your money back plus 5%. All right. So that was GBP this morning. Then in the afternoon, we had one trade, which was the NAS. Okay. I'm going to delete everything so we can go through it as well. We had NAS. As we can see, oh, I don't know why I clicked that one. As we can see, we were still bullish from this morning. Okay, we're making higher highs, we're making higher lows. So it's still bullish. Going down into the hourly time frame, we're going to mark out the 1 p.m. CR high. We're going to mark out the 1 p.m. CR low, candle range low, candle range high. We're going to drop down into the 30-minute time frame. We've got an order block here. On the 50-minute time frame, we also have an order block there as well. Okay, pretty much the same as the GBP, two time frames, same order block. All right, so there you go. Now, remember what I told you a lot before. I need one of the two things for me to take a trade. Now, if you pay attention to this trade, the 15-minute low did not get swept. But again, I don't need it. Why don't I need it? Because I have a higher time frame point of interest being tapped into, and I have the hourly low being swept. Exactly what I told you guys before. I do one of these two things. If none of these two things happen, I do not take the trade, no matter if we sweep the low or not. Okay? So obviously 50-minute didn't get swept, no point in leaving that marked. And then if we go into the 3-minute time frame, there was an inverted FVG right here. Okay, inverted FVG right here. If you check the 1-minute time frame, you probably missed the trade because you were most likely waiting for either the order block entry. Okay, oh, you're probably waiting for the order block entry and this inverted FVG right here. But as you can see, it didn't come close to it. So what you can do is you can also check the 3-minute for potential entries, which is this one right here, inverted FVG. You can see we tapped in at around about 306 maybe, 311. No, not 311. Yeah, 306. And at that time, you could have taken the trade. Why? Because you've had that bullish momentum kick in. You've had, look, bullish, 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 and then this is the entry. So you had the movement to prove to yourself basically, okay, cool. We're going bullish now. We got some bullish momentum. That is the clues that you're looking for. You're not just looking for it to create an order block and entering straight away. You're not doing that. You need some sort of a clue that the market will give you that it's going to decide to turn around. You can't just enter the trade with just one bullish candle and that's it. You need at least a good enough bullish move for you to take the trade. And then you would have taken the trade right over here. Let me go back into the 3-minute. You would have taken the trade right in here. Okay. Stop loss at the swing low. And then obviously the TP will be the other side of the range, which would have given you a 1 to 4, I believe. Pretty much a 1 to 4. Maybe stretch it out a little bit for that 1 to 4. And as you can see, pretty much tapped entry, never in drawdown, straight bullish, bullish, bullish. And as you can see, you would have been break even from the moment you broke above this level. So from this point onwards, risk-free trade, nothing to worry about. Okay, so these were the two potential trades today. Um, Obviously 5% in the morning and 4% in the evening, totaling to 9%. Not bad at all. Obviously, this week, yesterday was Monday. Yesterday, you could have caught, I believe, let's double check. Yesterday, you could have caught. So yesterday, you could have caught a 1 to 4 on gold. Okay. 1 to 4 on gold. And then on euro, you could have caught, that's just a break even, really. Nothing really yesterday on euro. US 30, you could have caught a 1 to 3. So a 1 to 3 plus a 1 to 4, that's 7% yesterday, plus an extra 9% today, 16% in 2 days. Not bad at all. Okay, not bad at all. We also had a US 30 trade, but I didn't really like this, and it ended up just hitting break even anyway. But that was pretty much what we had for today. So we had um, nice setup right here, 1 to 4. And then we had the GBP in the morning, which was also nice. Okay, so that's pretty much the trade recap for today. Again, any questions, just drop a comment or hit me in the VIP chat. Other than that, that's pretty much the recap done.